Especially in sales, we always let's say teach and learn and have learned to listen to your customer, to understand your customer. Now this is a new angle, a new aspect actually, is to first kind of understand yourself, what kind of person you are and how you're perceived, and then of course you need to understand what are the needs of your customers, and also I guess how your customer is kind of what kind of person your customer is. Can you elaborate a little bit on that as well? Because I think it's about us, but I guess the same is about as well the other person too, right?
Exactly, Patrick. So as I said before, you prepare yourself, you look for the customer needs, what kind of requirements they have, you prepare yourself. But this is all based on the company information or what the customer wants. But when you go to the customer, you're talking to a person. And important to be successful while selling or conveying a message to your counterpartner or to your customer is that you can communicate on the same level. Because if you are communicating on another level like your customer or your partner, you will not find yourself. So I think it's really important to understand how your counterpartner is functioning, what kind of person it is. It has a lot to do with personality. There are different personalities. So my tip would be to understand or try to understand what kind of personality this person has. And only like this, you can convey your message to him. You remain authentic as you are, but you adapt your communication in a way that he understands what you want to convey to him.
This is a very, very important call out you're doing here, is like really remaining authentic and at the same time adjusting the communication style to the person on the other side so that this person actually understands and hears you. Is that correct? Can you explain a little bit more about how, I think it's a challenge to be like authentic, but then on the other hand also to adjust to the other person. I think a lot of people are actually mixing up like being authentic and adjusting to somebody else, by not being authentic. Can you share in 1-2 sentences what the differentiator is and how to do it?
Yeah, what is important is to remain authentic, not to adjust your authentic way of being, because only if you are yourself, you can also convey a message. But as we have different personalities, you have to adjust the way you are saying something to a customer. That has nothing to do with being authentic. It's just to understand how can I convey the message to my customer or to my counterpartner that he understands what I'm trying to tell him. And to give you an example, it's not so easy, clear. You can learn about that, that's no doubt, but it takes some more time. But to give you a simple example, you can distinguish between two kinds of persons, let's say that way. You have the persons which are more result-oriented. This means they focus a lot on facts and figures. They want to see facts and figures. And then you have the people which are more relationship oriented. This means the relationship, it's much more important than any facts and figures. So that's a tip I can give to look at this two kinds of personalities, more result, facts and figures oriented, or more relationship storytelling oriented.
I would like to quickly kind of do a summary of the key call outs you did today, which are very important, and help me please and correct me if I'm wrong. So number one is everything starts with you understanding yourself. Who am I? How do I behave in certain situations, and also how I communicate and and then it goes actually to how other people perceive me. And of course, then also understanding how other people behave and also communicate, and adjusting the communication style and the communication in a way that the other person actually understands and receives the message. And of course, at the same time, remain authentic. Is that
correct?
It's
a good summary
in a nutshell. Okay, very good.
In a nutshell, a good summary, Patrick. Well done.
Thank you. So let's go. We are getting to the end of this interesting talk. Actually, my invitation to you is that we continue this talk another day on because I think this personality types which you just described. I think this is very, very important, especially for salespeople, but not only is to understand how the other person on the other side is what type of personality he or she is, and then adjust the communication. I think this is very, very, very important. So I suggest we will have an additional talk about this very, very soon. I'm looking forward to it. Are you in?
It will be a pleasure for me.
Excellent. Very good. Is there one last tip you want to share with the community before we get to an end?
Tip, perhaps you start with ourselves or with yourself. Try understand yourself. I think that's very important. And this starts already how you think. We have a tendency, people in generally, to always think negative. It's more than 70% of the people they think negative. Therefore, try to adjust a little bit your thinking in a more positive way, and this will affect your feelings and respectively also your acting, how you're going to act. So this is a final tip for me. Start with yourself, start to change the way you think, and you can do a lot of things with that.
Excellent, excellent call out. Thank you very, very much. I think this is very, very valuable. And I would like to thank you actually for having been my guest, for having been and still being my coach, of course. And I would like to extend the invitation to everybody else. And actually, if you're not connected to Raffi yet on LinkedIn, make sure you connect to him. He is sharing regular, almost daily updates and posts. So make sure you connect with him. And of course, stay tuned for a new episode of the Adesso Digital Talk. See you soon. Bye-bye.